Welcome back to the Fit Life Orange County podcast. I'm your host, Jake Stewart. In today's episode, we sit down with Rachel Fiorello. She tells you all about her life bouncing back and forth from a bunch of different fitness programs, and I'm super excited to share her story with you.
Here is Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart, your host of the Fit Life Orange County.
So welcome to the show, everybody. We have a really awesome guest today. We have Rachel sitting here with us. So Rachel, I know we've known each other for a couple of years now, but take this opportunity to give our viewers a little insight. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? And just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, my name's Rachel. I work at Albertsons in Lake Forest currently. My passions, I love music. Music is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love cooking. And now that I've joined FitBody, I love working out.
That's awesome. Well, that makes me happy to hear. Well, that's so awesome. And I know you have a very demanding job. I know your work schedule is crazy. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But first, so I just want to this is a fitness-based podcast. Obviously, we're here at Mission Viejo Fit Body Boot Camp. But I want to talk about just your fitness history and what that's looked like. So have you always been into fitness? If so, what were you doing? If you haven't always been into fitness, what drove you to become the fitness freak, the fitness fanatic that you are nowadays? So I'm just curious, just give us a little bit of insight into your fitness background.
All right, yeah. Well, when I was younger, I was in sports a little bit, but then when I got into high school, I was in band, so I was in marching band. So I didn't really do sports then. And then I did try to go to the gym before FitBody. I tried going to multiple different gyms. I tried 24-hour fitness. I tried Planet Fitness. I would try the gyms that were at the apartment complex that I lived in. I tried to do it on my own all the time. And I wasn't very knowledgeable then about the different exercises that you can do to work the different types of your body. So I would always just do the same equipment every single time I would go to the gym, and I would get unmotivated because nothing was changing. And I was like, why? I'm working out, right? Isn't this supposed to work? It was probably my eating habits too that worked in that. But then I finally just stopped going to the gym when I was at Planet Fitness, and it's actually kind of unfortunate what happened, but I was working out on one of the machines, and there were these two guys that walked past me, and they were actually making fun of me, and they were pointing and laughing at me. And that did not make me feel good at all. And so after that, I stopped going to the gym, just all bad. I'm like, you know what, obviously I'm failing at this, and now that happened, I'm just not gonna go anymore. That totally just unmotivated me. And then my sister, she has been a vegan for 10 years now. And she joined the FitBody location that's in her area. And she was at it for a couple of years, and I kept asking questions about it. And she told me about it and said how awesome it was. So I thought, maybe I'll give it a try. It's working for my sister, maybe it'll work for me too. And I'm really glad that I did, and I haven't looked back because I love going to FitBody.
Yeah,
so,
well, thank you so much for sharing that. Super bummer that happened.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's probably the case for a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are in the same shoes that you're in.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be in a gossip-like environment, especially nowadays with social media,
Yeah.
With smartphones, people taking videos, all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
What I always like to remind everybody, and this is good for the viewers at home, is just, something might not be the right fit for you. Maybe that wasn't the right place. And certainly it wasn't, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just finding what works best for you. So whether it's a FitBody Bootcamp or whatever, if it's hiking or whatever it is, find what works best for you. So that's a different answer for everybody.
Totally.
So kudos to you for getting over that. But I was curious, you did say a couple of things, and just not having the knowledge of working out. And that's something that, 99% of the population isn't like myself, isn't well versed into fitness.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Were you just walking on the treadmills? Were you trying to lift weights, or were you trying to do anything? Just give us just a little bit of insight into what you were doing before.
Weightlifting, not really. I mean, I would do something that everybody knows, like bicep curls.
Sure.
I would do that. But mostly I would be on the machines, like the leg press machine where it has the big plate and you're pushing your feet up on it. I would do that a lot. I would do the machines where you go like this. So I would do machines, to work different parts of the body for a half hour. And then the last half hour, I would go on the elliptical or the treadmill. And if I was on the treadmill, I would try to do it at an incline, and I would try to walk and sprint. And then on the elliptical, I just try to make the resistance as high as I could as I was going. And that's all I was sticking to, was just machines and then the elliptical and the treadmill at the end.
Well, I think that's very much like a lot of people. That's a vast majority of the population does that. I think it just kind of highlights the importance of having a coach. Obviously, I'm a little biased being a fitness and fat loss coach myself. But even as a fitness and fat loss coach, and I've been one for 7 years now, I have a coach. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs somebody to have kind of point them in the right direction. And I think that's something that is obviously great about Fit Body Bootcamp is we always have our 2 coaches on the floor helping you out. And it's in a group environment, so you never feel singled out, which I think is super important. And I think this is a great segue, so kind of going into your Fit Body experience. And I'm just so curious, because it's been a couple of years now. I know that you made a big change, so I want to talk about your fitness transformation in just a second. But just kind of run me through how so you started Fit Body Bootcamp, and what does it look like from start until now?
My body has definitely changed because of just the knowledge that you guys have given me and all the different exercises that we do through Fit Body. So yeah, it's definitely changed, and I feel stronger, which is
awesome.
which is
that's always
awesome.
a good thing.
Yeah, I still have a ways to go, but I definitely feel like I'm on the right track now with Fit Body.
That's awesome. And I know the answer to this question, but I would love to share because I'm very proud of you and I want to highlight this. How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 30 pounds so far.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. So kudos. I know everyone always has further to go too, just like myself included, we all always have the next step to get to. And just know that you're getting there and you're making those right decisions. And I'm curious how you feel in your life now. So let's take 30 pounds ago, Rachel. What are some of the things that you can do now that maybe you weren't able to do before, or maybe you weren't confident enough to do before? Is there anything in your life that you feel like, oh, hey, now that I'm stronger, now that I have a little bit more stamina, is there anything you can do that you weren't able to do before?
Totally. I mean, it comes to a lot of simple things to just bending down and tying my shoe, I feel like that's a lot easier to do. I feel like when I go out with my dog and I try and sprint, I can go a longer distance now than I was able to before. There's just, little things at work, there was some spaces that are kind of, smaller and I wasn't quite, able to fit through there. Now I feel like I can. And my clothes, they're starting to feel bigger on me. So yeah, I am noticing little differences. And like I said, I definitely feel a lot stronger too. There were some things that I couldn't really do before, and I feel like I can now.
That's awesome. Well, you bring up a good point of just kind of those day-to-day activities. So a lot of times everyone's always focused on the scale goal. So that 35 pounds is great that you lost, and that's super duper awesome. But what's even better is to hear that picking stuff up off the ground is easier. It's making your life better. You're not going to hurt yourself leaning over to pick up that crate at work, because I know you're always moving stuff and doing stuff around. You have a very active job. So obviously being stronger is totally going to help you in that regard. So that's super duper awesome.
What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. And it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you will lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show.
My next question is, and I know the answer to this, but again, I just want to share it with our viewers. Have you made any friends in your time at boot camp? Is there any fit buddies that you have?
Definitely. I have my 430 buddies. And they, even if they weren't in the session, I still have fun, but they definitely make the workout a lot more fun. Just having the friends that you've made and, giggling and laughing, while you're working out. So yeah, I definitely have made some fit body buddies, especially the other Rachels.
Of course,
Like I
yeah.
love it when all three of us are working out.
Yeah, we famously have 3 Rachels that all work out in the same session, so it's always Rachel cubed. It's a lot of fun always in that session. But yeah, that's so great to hear, and something I always like to remind everybody, like one of the easiest ways to will yourself to get in and work out is have a buddy. So whether it's someone that you already know before you start working out, or someone that you meet while you're at the gym, or while you're out hiking, while you're out doing whatever, it's so much easier when you're being held accountable. And I know all those ladies, like if you're not here for a day, if one of the other Rachels isn't here for a day, we're always reaching out. We're always making sure, like, hey, we need all 3 of the Rachels together. Like, what's going on? So I always love to highlight the importance of having like workout buddies. And it's always so great to see you guys laughing and having fun. And I know you might not enjoy doing your rope slam burpees. I know, but you guys are always smiling and having a good time, which is always like so inspiring for me as a coach to see. And I love it so much. And if you guys are getting fit and living a better lifestyle because of it, it's just absolutely incredible to see as a coach. So I'm really, really happy for you there.
Yeah, and then bringing Jenna into it too, my roommate.
Yes.
Because I was the one who started first, and now my roommate comes with me, and so that's cool too.
No, you guys are
having
the
that
dynamic
little
duo, always awesome. So it's not all about people named Rachel. We do welcome other people. It's
Not
all
always.
good. But yeah, that's so awesome. And then one other thing that I just want to touch on is you talked a little bit about changing your diet. What did that look like? So what are you doing now? So have you gone vegan? Are you just, like you said, your friend inspired you? What does your diet look like? And what has changed over time?
I'm mostly vegetarian. I do eat meat sometimes, but mostly I don't try to incorporate that into my meals. I'm eating more because I always heard the myth that eat less and you'll lose weight. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case. You have to eat more throughout the day, and not big meals. Like it's just small little meals throughout the day. So that has changed, and I definitely feel like that has helped in my weight loss journey. And then just trying to fit more protein, like all the protein that I can find that's not soy protein. I try to, find other sources than soy.
Yeah,
so,
it's always a hard fact, and something that I always like to remind everybody is that most of the population is actually deficient in protein. Which is like crazy because, we always see all these, whenever you pick something up in the store, it seems like almost everything has a big thing that says protein on it. It's protein heavy.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. It's like looking further into that and really seeing how much protein that you're taking in. It's so important. And as you were saying, eating more, a lot of times what happens is people are under eating, which is putting their body at a disadvantage because your body's going into starvation mode and a whole bunch of other problems is happening. Is sometimes when someone comes in and I'm trying to help them lose 10 pounds over 8 weeks, I tell them to eat more calories than what they're eating before because they're only eating 600 calories. I'm like, you should be eating like 1,500 calories. Your muscles aren't getting enough food and they're not able to grow. And so we need to have that lean muscle. So that's a really important takeaway that you have. I think that's really important for the people listening at home to realize is it's not always about eating less. So I never would want you to starve yourself. I want you to fuel those muscles because you're coming in 4 or 5 days a week and crushing your workouts. You got to fuel those muscles. If you're not fueling, it's just like not putting any gas in your car. It's not going to go anywhere, or if you're always running with the gas light on, car's not going to work very well. So you always want to make sure, hey, fill that tank, get up to full. So that's super duper awesome and a great point that you're bringing up. So with that being said, kind of moving on to the next portion of this. Obviously, you live in Orange County, you work in Orange County. Where do you like to hang out? So where could we find Rachel if we were on a Saturday night, or if, I know you have a crazy work schedule, so maybe that's like a Tuesday night or something. But where do you like to hang out? Do you like to go to the beach? Is there anywhere around here that you like to hang out?
I do like to go to the beach. I try to hang out with my dog as much as I can. So
Naturally,
I'm always,
well.
there's a trail that's behind my house, so I'm always on that trail. And I'm always trying to find different trails that I can take my dog onto, that, I can have little walks on days that I don't go to the gym, so usually the weekends. And then there's a lot of music venues around here that I love going to. Like there's the Gas Lamp in Long Beach that I love. I love the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano. Like I said before, music's my favorite thing, so I'm always trying to catch shows. And
that's so awesome. And that's just a great way to meet people also. Like
it is.
I'll tell you what, like dancing around at music shows, like that's one good way to burn calories. Like,
it's great
if there
cardio.
ever was. Oh, it's awesome. So kudos to you, and that's super duper fun. Next question, so I would like to hear a little bit about your food choices. So what is your favorite and most ideal healthy meal and then hey, what's something that you cheat on a little bit and you like to go a little bit off the rails on? So, give me some examples of what your favorite healthy meal and favorite cheat meal would be.
One of my favorite healthy meals that I make is kind of like my version of a taco salad. So I use like a spring spinach mix in it, and then I'll do garbanzo beans instead of meat in there, and then instead of dressing, I'll do a little bit of light sour cream and then some hot sauce. That's really good in it. Sometimes I'll put cheese, but the other things that I always put is avocado. And then I like crunch with my food. So I'll take the Quest protein chips and I'll crush that on top of my salad.
I like that. That's a great plan.
So
Quick tip for you.
that's one of, it's a very good tip. So that's one of my favorite healthy meals that I make. Cheat days, I love going to Chipotle.
Naturally, of course.
I do, and I'll usually get the bowl, and then, like I said, I love crunch with my food, so like I'll eat it like with the chips, instead of the fork. So that's probably one of my favorite when I have a cheat day is Chipotle.
Well, that's awesome. So pretty much everybody that I interview for this podcast, everybody's cheat meal seems to be Mexican food. It's so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's always the same. But obviously here in Southern California, it's wildly abundant. We have plenty of it here and some good stuff too. So I totally feel that there. And of course, I love myself some good Mexican food as well. So like last but not least, I want to see if there's any parting wisdom that you have for our viewers at home that maybe are struggling to make a change or that maybe just haven't had the confidence to make a change, whether it comes to their eating habits or working out. What's some advice that you would give to that person that's watching this video that maybe wants to make a change but just hasn't yet?
The best piece of advice that I can give you is just don't give up. That is the one thing. Just what you're doing right now, it may not be working, and that's okay. Like I failed so many times before trying Fit Body Boot Camp. So if what you're doing is not working, just try something else, but just don't give up, because eventually you will find something that works for you. Just, you have to try and just try different things. And that's the best piece of advice that I can give you is
awesome advice.
Don't give up.
I think that's awesome advice, and I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from that. So, Rachel, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sitting down with us today. It's been so fun. I can't wait to see you on the mats this week, okay?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.